Video Game Hunter here, and welcome to another VGH Top 5. 2017 was another fantastic year of gaming, and I know I'm late to the party, but that doesn't matter. Just like everyone else, it's time to give you guys my top 5 games of the year. Now before we get this list started, I have to warn you guys, yes, I know the Nintendo Switch was released last year, and yes, I do in fact own one, but I really haven't played much of it. Even though I do own Splatoon 2, Mario Kart 8, and Zelda Breath of the Wild. So if you're expecting some Nintendo Switch's games on this list, I have to break it to you, there are none. However, I did enjoy some indie games this year, and 2 of them have made it to the list. So that said, no further ado, here are my top 5 2017 games of the year. Number 5. Sundered. Sundered is an indie game developed by Thunder Lotus Games, who I was a backer on the Kickstarter campaign. Now, I found them through Limited Runs Games newsletter, where the developers are working with Limited Runs on getting their game a physical copy. But I have to be honest, I didn't become a backer because I thought the game was cool, but I really like the fact that if I put down enough money to get a physical copy, not only will I get a PS4 physical copy, but a PC copy as well. I know it's a stupid reason to become a backer, but no other crowdfunding projects that I became a backer of gave you both a PC copy and a console copy for the same price of one. What can I say? I like physical copies. So that said, if you ask me what this game's about, to be honest, I really don't know. One bad thing about this game is that I don't understand the story. Throughout this whole game, the narrator speaks another language that I don't understand. They do have subtitles, but it's one of those games that you have to pay attention to your surrounding, because there's gonna be hordes of enemies coming after you, and it does make it difficult for me to read the subtitles. Now that said, if you're a type of person who loves hack and slash Metroidvania games, this is the game for you. Again, you're constantly fighting your way through hordes of enemies, and you will find new abilities and gain experience to upgrade your skills that will make the game a little easier, but the further you go, the tougher the enemies will be. Also, the boss fights are massively big and challenging. Number 4. Senran Kagura Peach Beach Splash. This game did not disappoint, and it's a great spin-off that's gonna hold me off until the next game in the Senran Kagura series. Which, by the way, this game's story is basically just setting up for the next game. Now, this game is absolutely not for everyone. However, if you're a fan of the series and you like games like Splatoon, this is pretty much a must-have game, especially since all your favorite sexy female characters are here in their sexy bikini, shooting each other with their squirt gun. What's not to love? And when everything is said and done, you can fondle them without their consent. Remember kids, fiction lives don't matter, but when you're dealing with a non-fiction ladies, oh, you better keep your hands to yourself unless you have their consent, or you might end up like Tyler Malka. Anyway, all seriousness now, the only thing that I wish this game improved on is online multiplayer. Nothing against the game modes, but it really does take forever to find someone online and to have enough people to have a match. If they can somehow set up a server instead of a pair-to-pair system, that would be great. Number 3. Resident Evil 7. I never really cared for Resident Evil all that much. I played the remake on the GameCube, but I didn't like how my saves were limited. I also tried Resident Evil 4 and I got stuck on a boss and basically call it quits. And I gave Revelation 2, which is fun playing with a friend, but not by yourself. But what got me interested to pick up this game and made me fall in love with it was the gameplay that Capcom showed off on E3. And it kinda freaked me out. Especially when I saw some random creepy stranger that just walks down the hallway that I didn't expect, and after watching this announcement, there was a playable demo now available to download. And I played it and I thought it was awesome. And it even creeped out my roommate who was watching me playing this game. Now when I bought the full-fledged game on the day of release, again, it did not disappoint. The best way to describe this game, it felt like I was playing a Texas Chainsaw Massacre game, which is one of my favorite horror films. So that said, a lot of fans felt like this game was going back to its roots, except now it's in first person. Even though I only played the remaster version of the first game on the GameCube, I have to agree. But if you really want to play it like the original, they even have an option where your saves are limited. Number 2. Cuphead. Usually, I'm the type of guy who doesn't really judge games by how pretty the graphics are. But when I first got exposed to Cuphead when it was first announced on Microsoft's E3 presentation, I believe back in 2014, I was pretty much instantly hooked on the 1930s old school cartoon graphics. I really don't recall any other game attempting this style of animation, especially going and hand drawing everything on paper. It felt really nice to see these types of animation again, since I also grew up watching these old cartoons on TV and on old VHS tapes. Moving on, this game absolutely did not disappoint. If you grew up playing games like Contra or Gunstar Heroes, then this is a must-have game. However, most of the game you are just doing boss fights, but if you're having trouble beating certain bosses, you should go and play some of the side-scrolling levels and collect coins and use them to buy new abilities. Now, even earning new abilities, the bosses are still gonna be challenging, but after you figure out the patterns and the path you need to take to beat them, it's a no-brainer fight. Now, there is a simple mode on most boss fights, but shooting this game mode won't allow you to see all the wonderful animation this game has to offer. So if you're a true gamer, you won't pick simple mode. Number 1. Persona 5. When I first heard the announcement for Persona 5 was coming out, I have to be honest, I didn't really care. I mean, I have played Persona 4 Golden on the Vita and Persona 2 Innocent Sin on PSP, and I like them for what they are, but I guess what really turned me off is when I found out that your character is gonna be a thief. I was kinda like, wait, is he a villain this time around? Is he doing this while attending school? I just didn't like based on what little info I knew. But I still ended up pre-ordering the game like a month or so before its official release. Now when I finally got this game on release day, I remember telling myself, I'm just gonna play a little bit of this game and I'm going to go back and play Horizon Zero Dawn. Which I really didn't really care for that game, to be honest. After I started playing this game, my thoughts on this game totally changed. This game was fucking amazing. The story really drew me in, and I felt so fucking bad for the main protagonist. Matter of fact, I felt bad for a lot of the characters in this game. They go through so many personal shit, and they just get fucked over by anyone who has power at their disposal. It really gave me the feels, and so many unexpected things happen in this game. Which I can see somewhat understand why Atlas didn't want spoilers being uploaded to YouTube, because there was this one scene that I did not see coming, and that totally shocked me and my jaw dropped. I never enjoyed an RPG this much since who knows how long, especially all the improvements they made from the previous Persona games. For example, the dungeons, which they all call palace in this game, they're not just simple hallways anymore, and they do tell you when a certain event needs to be done by a certain day, which they give you plenty of days to finish, and they also offer a lot of optional side quests for you can do during your spare days. Now, you're not going to finish everything on your first go, which, by the way, I spent 117 hours playing my first time through. I don't think I spent that much on a video game, especially an RPG, in a very long time. After I finished this game, I felt so depressed. I literally did not know what to do with myself. I was happy I beat the game, but I was sad because the story was over. This was simply a masterpiece in my opinion. So that said, I'm absolutely on board for Persona 6, and I declare Persona 5 my game of the year of 2017. And I also said this when I beat this game, because there was no other game that was coming out in 2017 that can top this. And guess what? I was right. So everyone who made this game possible, thank you so much. This is the Video Game Hunter, and until next time, goodbye.
Renegade teens.